Welcome to round 6 of the Cooper Tires Prototype Lights powered by Mazda from Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca. The morning started foggy, delaying the race, so let's talk to the pole award winner, Tristan Nunez. We're here with 16-year-old Tristan Nunez of Performance Tech, who for the third track in a row here in the 2012 Cooper Tires Prototype Lights powered by Mazda has once again gotten the pole here at Laguna Seca. What's your secret, Tristan?
Well, there's not really any secret. I mean, it's a team effort. Without these guys, I wouldn't be able to do what I do out there. And I had to thank my driver coach, Jonathan George, for going over everything before we got here and being able to apply all the information that he's told me right out at the get-go. And without them, I don't know where I'd be.
Well, Brent says that it's all about the details. What details about Laguna Seca would you say are crucial to you picking up extra time on the rest of the field?
Well, we have the advantage of the technical spots of the track. So like the corkscrew, I think we were 3/10 quicker than the field. And even just right when we put on new tires, it's just go, go, go. So I think we have that advantage over the field.
Congratulations again. Tristan Nunez of Performance Tech, Laguna Seca's Cooper Tires Prototype Lights Pole Award winner. Congratulations to Tristan on that wonderful qualifying lap, as well as his L1 class round 5 win here at Laguna Seca. He's also joined in his victory by L2 class Scott Tucker of Level 5 Motorsports. Now, let's hear from Dion von Moltke as we take a lap around Laguna Seca on board with Tristan Nunez.
We pick up the lap here with Tristan out of turn 11 onto the front straightaway. Here's turn 1 here. You're going up over the hill, completely blind. All of a sudden, you drop down. You're looking into turn 2. Really easy to lock tires here, hard braking. You got to bring it in, make sure you're nice and tidy. Get on power as early as possible. Make sure you get a good run into third. You're going up to third gear, turning in nice and early, all over the entrance curb, all over the exit curb, getting ready for turn 4 now. High speed right-hander. Bring as much speed as you can down to the apex and getting onto this long straightaway. Momentum is key here. Going up to 5th gear, braking deep as possible into turn 5, but you've got to get down to that apex curb or else you've got no grip. And now, straight uphill, straight uphill going into turn 6. It's going to go drop down on the edge of the earth and it's going to go completely blind on you. Get down to the apex. This is the straightaway up to the world-famous corkscrew corner now. You're going to be deep on the brakes, over the crest of the hill, so really easy to lock tires. Be nice and tidy. Turn in early here, all over the curbs, all over the second curb, even using a little bit of the dirt. Going now, here, all the way down to the inside, really falls away from me here, using all the road because you just don't have any room. Getting back to the edge of the road, get down to the apex curb, power out. Now we're going into turn 11, the slowest corner on the track, down to 1st gear. And make sure you use all the power you can, all the traction you've got, get onto the front straightaway.
Thanks, Dion, for that track lap analysis. Well, we're wasting no time getting to it as the cars come around turn 11, onto the front straight to take the green flag here for round 6 of the Cooper Tires Prototype Lights from Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca.
Tristan got a great jump off that corner and taking the green flag. He's got the inside line into 2. Everything's pretty spread out. Looks like a really good start here. A little bit of lock up there from P4. Looks like somebody will be able to dive underneath him into the second apex here.
And Tristan's already beginning to pull out a good margin over Charlie Shears, the number 21 car. And we see the number 42 car of Jim Garrett there. And coming off under the Cooper Tires walk bridge, we see the cars really lining up pretty well. Looks to be a good, safe start.
Yeah, the importance of turn 4 to get a good exit is going to give you a good opportunity to break into turn 5 and get a good overtaking attempt. But as we've seen in the past, Tristan's just really good on cold tires, able to open that gap right away and just try to run away with it here again.
Well, we can see right there going over the hill, the L2 battle really starting to heat up here at Laguna Seca with level 5, number 5 Scott Tucker in the black L2 car. And this race shows 2 new entries from last year. You can see right there the blue and white car, number 30 of Michael Klumecki from 6th Gear Racing. They decided to come back to the series here at Laguna Seca. Their last race was at Road Atlanta last year, and they did quite well, led by their team owner, Robert Sabato, who actually broke the race win record last year.
And Michael's getting right back to action. Wow, someone's off there. Mancini's off. I was just saying, Michael's getting right back into the action. An aggressive look there into the corkscrew. It's really hard to overtake here, so you definitely have to be quite creative with your moves.
Yeah, number 96, Danny Mancini, not sure what he did there, whether he overcooked the corner or dropped his right tires into the dirt and kind of just baked it through there, but looks like there's no damage and no problem. He's continuing on, just lost a few positions.
Hopefully those tires aren't overheated now or flat spot. He'll be able to work his way back up through the field here. It's going to be pretty important. Looks like a really good battle going on in front of him. Wow, look at that. About 8, 9 cars all in the line. Everyone's super aggressive in these early laps.
Yeah, that's one of the great things about this racing here with the IMSA lights is that you have L1 cars that are all basically the same car, and it's all really separated by driver and team preparation. And so you really get some exciting racing as these guys are really fairly well matched. And you see 96 Danny Mancini taking a look on Dan Whalen. Can't make it work, decided to back out of it, and right up in front of him, another pass for position. I believe that's the Owen Kratz car, and it's really starting to heat up here at Laguna Seca. And and he's going off, wheels off the left-hand side to go around Wayland.
Yeah, Mancini's just being really aggressive here. You saw that move into turn 5. He probably had it, but shouldn't have bailed out the last second, but right back to work right away, getting back to action here. And definitely all 4 tires off track there, making a move. That was pretty nice.
Yeah, this is really exciting racing, and if you couldn't tell from the previous shot, the fog that has finally lifted away is still lurking in the distance. So the visibility this morning was pretty rough, so that's why we got a late start to this race. But coming onto the front stretch, of course, it's still Tristan Nunez in the lead, and Tristan is nowhere to be seen, doing his usual, pulling away from everybody on those cold tires. 121 miles an hour under the walk bridge there, and the car's coming down into the turn 2 hairpin, overcooking it just a little bit there, getting a little bit of lockup, but really fantastic racing right from the beginning.
I'll tell you what, that 122 miles an hour over the crest of the hill in turn 1, cars get really light, it's completely blind. The first few times you go through there, it's really intimidating to be able to carry it completely flat out over the crest of the hill and into the brake zone in 2.
Well, as we're going under the Mother's Bridge there, we see the battle for 6th place between number 29 Rich Holt and 00 of Owen Kratz. Owen Kratz with the Ferrari of Houston entry, and number 29 Rich Holt with the Performance Tech entry. These guys are going to be going at it for position, and we see the black and yellow Performance Tech of Danny Mancini starting to get up into the action. So it looks like we've got a 4-way battle here for position, and I believe that's the number 10 car of Mikhail Goetberg working his way up from his starting position, which was towards the back of the pack.
Yeah, this is a really tough situation. There's a 4-car battle. If you're in the middle of that, you've got to be defending as well as attacking, and it's really difficult to be able to do both, because often part of the attacking game is you're going offline to start pressuring the car in front, but as soon as you start doing that, the car behind can get a good run on you. Exactly coming out of turn 11. If you don't get a good run out, the car behind you could all of a sudden find its way past you as well.
Well, right here we see 5 L1 cars, nose to tail, really going for position, and they're going to come right down here into this hard braking zone, and we're going to see them bunch back up, and they're going to go ahead and start battling to get position for possibly an overtaking maneuver later on in the turns here.
Yeah, this is a really difficult track, again, to be overtaking on, especially when you have a downforce car like these. You get a lot of aero push, and luckily when you're out front like Tristan is, you're able to have perfect conditions and really just run away, have the perfect car, and that's what he's doing here beautifully.
Yeah, Tristan going through the corkscrew, that's such a beautiful turn and such an iconic turn here in Laguna Seca, and Tristan's really pulled away quite a substantial multi-second lead in his blue and yellow Don't Text and Drive campaign car, number 16. It's funny, number 16, he's 16 years old, and he's really doing a fantastic job in the L1 series this year as a rookie.
Yeah, I mean, as a rookie, this is great experience going on to categories above, especially if you're looking to get into LMPC and the American Le Mans Series, learn about how the tires go, and also hopefully he can catch some of the back traffic and learn how to deal with traffic as well. But having a clean run here as usual is a lot.
Scott Tucker, number 5, has overcooked it. Looks like turn 11.
Right in front of the field there, he comes back on.
Yeah, Scott's quite an aggressive driver, and as many people know, Scott drives in a lot of different series that race with the the ALMS IMSA weekends, and Scott Tucker's done quite well in his number 5 L2 car. And you notice that L2 car has a different body kit on it than the number 30 car of Michael Klumecki. Michael Klumecki's running last year's aero kit, and Scott Tucker has the updated aero kit for the L2 car from West Racing. Well, let's take a moment to step away from the action, and we'll be right back to Laguna Seca. And we're back to racing here for round 6 of the Cooper Tires Prototype Lights powered by Mazda from Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca here in beautiful but foggy Monterey, California.
Yeah, you can see the conditions here with the fog are really overcast, so the track's got to be really quick here. Usually when you've got overcast conditions, the grip's a lot higher, the engines are running a lot better, and the lap times are going to really start falling.
And we're looking at third place, number 34, John Brownson, who has a white right front fender. I believe that's from an altercation in round 5 here at Laguna Seca. But John Brownson, a very aggressive driver, very good driver. And we have number 29, Richie Holt, just really engine letting go there as he's coming around here at Laguna Seca. Hopefully he can get off the track quickly and not put down too much fluid.
Looks like he's pulling into pit lane now, so it's a really tight pit lane entrance as well, so hopefully there's not too much fluid, or else it'll make that really tricky for drivers to get in.
Yeah, it looks like that really let go. Don't know what the reasoning for that is, but number 29, Rich Holt, the Performance Tech entry, was running pretty well in the order and then the classification, but looks like his day's done.
Yeah, it's a really bit of a shame there. It's strange to see in this whole category of racing. You don't often see the engines let go like that.
Yeah, these Mazda engines are. Oh, and we
wow,
going around that corkscrew. Scott Tucker and Daniel Mancini going at it. It's really starting to heat up in these spec classes. You know, but L1 and L2, when they start going at it and they start mixing together, you really get some exciting action. And looks like Daniel Mancini is actually splitting the battle for the lead in the L2 class. Yeah, that's Michael Klumecki in the number 30 car in front of Mancini, and level 5 Scott Tucker trying to actually pass the faster L1 car of Mancini. I wonder if there's something wrong with Mancini's car. And Goetberg, you know, continuing to work his way up through the classification, takes position from number 65 Lamont Harris. So that's 6th place for Goetberg as he's starting to work his way up through the field.
I mean, it is really difficult when you're trying to overtake a car from a different category. It does different things better than yours, and you can see Scott Tucker looking really aggressive, kind of looking to the inside of turn 4, which really isn't an overtaking spot there, but he's got to get it done to get up and battle for the lead of his own class.
And we're looking at the 5th place battle of number 00 Owen Kratz and Mikhail Goetberg continuing to work his way up through the field.
Oh, we see Brownson had to spin there. The car just probably got light there out of the corkscrew where it really falls away from you. And hopefully he gets back under one. It looks like no damage is done and he's able to continue. I don't think he lost any spots either. He's kind of running by himself out there, so it's hard to maintain the focus needed when you're just completely by yourself. So let's hopefully keeps going.
As we've spoken about on many occasions here with the Cooper Tires Prototype Lights powered by Mazda, Prototype Lights is the premier development series for prototype drivers in the world. Drivers and graduates of the Prototype Lights move on to series such as the ALMS and Grand Am prototypes, as well as WEC and other racing series around the world. So let's take a moment to talk to one of the drivers, Anthony Downs, who has been racing with Eurosport in the L1 class in the IMSA Lights and will be racing an LMPC car here at Laguna Seca with Merchant Services this weekend. Hi, we're here with Anthony Downs of Merchant Services Racing. Anthony, this is your second LMPC race. You did IMSA Lights for how many years?
Off and on for the last 5 years.
Now, when you were with IMSA Lights, do you think that really prepared you for your move to the LMPC car?
Yeah, you know, there are a lot of similarities in the cars. They both have a lot of downforce, and they're just amazingly fast, both of them. And also the different classes in both the series prepared me just a little bit, you know. There's a bit more traffic in the LMS, but it's kind of the same idea. that the L2s and back in the day the L3s that were in the Prototype Light series, you had to watch for them, and that played a role in all of the racing.
Well, here at Laguna Seca, what would you say are the major differences between the LMPC car and the lights car? You know, how does it handle through the corkscrew differently?
Yeah, it does actually. The major difference that I find, there are two of them. The first one is there is power steering in the LMPC car, which makes it a little bit easier to manage. And in the lights car, you are really fighting that wheel, and it is a workout through some of these high G-force corners. And then, like you said, in the corkscrew, there's so much torque behind these huge LMPC engines that you have to be very careful getting on the throttle. In the lights car, you can be a little bit more deliberate. In these cars, you have to be very gentle and very patient.
Thank you very much, Anthony. Anthony Downs, Merchant Services Racing, one of the graduates from IMSA Lights to LMPC. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Anthony, for that great interview. You can tell there he looks really excited to be joining Merchant Services Racing in the LMPC category of the American Le Mans Series.
Yeah, you know, Anthony, one of the graduates of the IMSA Lights, I say he's a graduate. He's still involved in IMSA Lights with Eurosport Racing, but really starting to get his feet wet, so to speak, in LMPC there in the American Le Mans Series. Now we're looking here at number 16, Tristan Nunez, and his Don't Text and Drive Performance Tech entry. Tristan has built a very comfortable lead here at Laguna Seca.
Yeah, in the last few races, he's got a lot of experience now of being able to control the lead and control the tires, really control the whole race. It's a lot more mentally challenging than it looks. You've got to completely stay focused, especially when you're catching lap traffic, but having that gap behind makes everything a little nicer. And
we're looking here at the 00 of Owen Kratz and the number 65 car of Lamont Harris. This is a battle for position. I believe it's a battle for 6th position. And number 5 car, the L2 class of Scott Tucker, you can see back there in the distance. I believe Scott is now in 1st place of the L2 class. And, you know, one of the great things about racing here at Laguna Seca is that the cars really stay very close together, even with the multiple classes. We saw earlier with Scott Tucker and Daniel Mancini battling through the corkscrew. You know, the classes really can stay very tightly packed together, and it does make for very exciting racing.
And it's starting to heat up now with Lamont and Owen here. Lamont's all over the back of him out of 5, and looking down the inside of 6. Has he got a good enough run here going into 6?
Number 42, Jim Garrett, looks like he has spun. Can't tell quite from that camera angle where he has spun.
Unfortunately, the camera angle there with Lamont and Owen's battle cut away at the wrong time, but you can see here he's kind of high-sided here. He looks stuck in the gravel. See the rear tires spinning, so he'll need some help to get pulled out. Probably a full course caution coming up now.
Yeah, I believe we'll be able to see a full course caution. Jim Garrett, the number 42 car of Eurosport Racing, a pretty steady entrant here in the Cooper Tires Prototype Lights powered by Mazda, and you can see there the tires definitely spinning. So I believe the corner workers will have to get down there and hopefully be able to pull him out, and he'll be able to continue on his way here at Laguna Seca.
Man, he's just barely stuck in there. Just a little bit more luck, you would be able to continue, and it's really unfortunate that gravel is just getting a little bit of your tires and it becomes impossible to get out.
Yeah, we're looking here at the 4th place entry of number 10, Mikhail Goekberg. Yep, and there's the full course caution being displayed here at Laguna Seca. So I would imagine that is for Jim Garrett, and they need to, and the white flag showing that there are going to be safety vehicles on the track to get him pulled out. So it looks like Mikhail has done a very good job of getting through the traffic here at Laguna Seca and working his way up through the field.
And also almost flying off the road there. He was using all the road and more there, but this is the last thing that Tristan wants to see here is to lose his gap. But you know, he's able, if he saves some tires, he'll be able to continue and build that gap again here after the caution.
Now we're looking at the pace car picking up Tristan and Charlie, and the safety vehicles starting to get Mr. Garrett hooked up here there to pull him out of the gravel trap and hopefully be able to get him on his way. And maybe this could be a brief caution period as we are here going around at Laguna Seca. You see the number 7 car, L2 car, they're in 3rd position behind the pace car, but he is not in 3rd position overall, but that's just the way that the pace car has picked up the field. So that's going to make it interesting for the restart with having that L2 car between Charlie Shears and John Brownson here at Laguna Seca.
And as we've seen, the cars are pretty close together lap time wise around here, so it might make overtaking pretty difficult, but it's going to be a really interesting restart. We've also seen Mikhail coming up through the field. This is exactly what he wants. Hopefully he can get up to Tristan and start having a battle for the lead here.
And we're looking at the field coming through the famous corkscrew, being led by the Cooper Tires pace car. Will be interesting to see how they sort out the field here. There's number 65 car of Lamont Harris, and I hopefully believe we're going to be going back to green sometime here soon since they got Garrett on his way.
Yeah, absolutely. Going back to green, there should be less than 20 minutes to go. It should create a really cool and a really exciting sprint finish here to the end, and hopefully give us some really good action here.
Well, we can see there that the pace car is not pulling off down on the pit road, so it looks like we're going to be under caution for at least one more lap as Tristan Nunez is in 1st place, followed by Charlie Shears and John Brownson in 3rd. That L2 car you see there is not actually 3rd place overall position. That just happens to be the way that the pace car picked them back up. So I believe we're going to be cutting away to a break here pretty soon. So we will be back to the action here at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca for round 6 of the Cooper Tires Prototype Lights powered by Mazda. And we're back to racing here for round 6 of the Cooper Tires Prototype Lights powered by Mazda from Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca in Monterey, California. And we are still under caution here, being led by number 16-year-old Tristan Nunez. And we see Danny Mancini in the number 96 L1 car is stopped off the side of the track. I believe we see now why the caution period has been extended.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird place to stop there, and probably not very easy for the corner workers to go out there and get them. That's up the hill going up to the corkscrew there.
And there's number 44, Richard Fant, Ferrari of Houston entry. I wonder if Fant and Mancini might have come together during the caution, or if this is just coincidental mechanical problems.
Yeah, you can get an accordion effect coming up to the corkscrew corner, so I wonder if that caught them out, or if this is just a separate incident. There doesn't appear to be any damage there.
Well, it looks like we're definitely going to be under a full course caution here for much longer, as number 16 Tristan Nunez is following the Cooper Tires pace car around, and we're looking at the number 7 car of Max DeAngelis in L2. I thought I could see a little bit of smoke there. What did you see?
Yeah, it looked like a bit of smoke there. It's a bit of a strange thing to be seen, but as we've seen earlier in the race, a few other cars have had some mechanical issues there. So I wonder if this race seems to be playing a bit harder on the motors, maybe the elevation of the track.
I don't know, but it looks like we're definitely going to get Danny Mancini towed away here as the field is coming past. They're taking it by him gingerly, and they're coming through the corkscrew under the Mazda bridge. Beautiful vantage point there.
I tell you one thing, if you've ever been able to make it out to this racetrack, you've got to go see the corkscrew corner. Watching the cars fly over pretty much looks like the edge of the world and just drop down, and the grip they pick up and fly out of that corner, it makes it really exciting. And even if you're not a race fan and you see that just one time, you'll be hooked. It's an unbelievable place to watch.
Well, I still remember the first time I came to Laguna Seca. Laguna Seca is such a beautiful area, and you're driving out to the track and you're waiting waiting and expecting to see the track up here in these beautiful California mountains, and it just pops out there. And when you're at the track and you're looking around you, the elevation, the mountains around you, the weather, it's just a wonderful place to be and a fantastic way to spend a weekend at a racetrack.
Oh, absolutely. And we see Mancini being towed away there. And, you know, this place also has a special place in my heart. I won the first Skip Barber Mazda Speed Challenge races here. And we know Tristan's also a graduate of Skip Barber Racing School. And a lot of up-and-coming drivers go through that terrific program. Yeah,
Laguna Seca has seen many races and many different series come through here, from IndyCar to ALMS. And I believe Grand Am has been to Laguna Seca in the past, actually.
And we're going back this year, actually.
Well, that sounds fantastic. You can't have a better track to have a wonderful race at than Laguna Seca in California, that's for sure. And we're seeing the Cooper Tires pace car continuing to lap the field around Laguna Seca as they've gotten Mancini removed. You can see him up there at the top of the screen. They've gotten his L1 car removed, and we're hopefully going to be going back to green soon. Tristan and Charlie Shears going to have a great battle, and that L2 car between Charlie Shears and the third place car of John Brownson, can't wait to see how that's going to play out.
I tell you, what's key right now is that if you're able to save a little bit of tire in the first, just in case of restart, and we see the Cooper Tire safety car pulling into the pits, so we're going to go green this time by.
Yeah, ready to get back to racing. Tristan's going to get a little bit of heat in those tires as he's getting ready to come around turn 11. The Cooper Tires pace car is on pit road, and it looks like we're going to be going back to green flag racing here at Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca for round 6 of the Cooper Tires prototype lights powered by Mazda.
And Tristan got a great jump out of turn 11 around the outside. Brownson already into the third position around lap traffic, and now locking up the rear tires there. Didn't seem to affect him too bad. Now he's out after Tristan trying to go for the lead here.
And the number 10 car of Goetberg, you can see in the background there, he's dispensing with the L2 car fairly quickly, so he's going to get after Brownson immediately. He's going to want to get up on that podium step, so he's going to get right after John, and they're going to be going at it here just shortly, and we'll see how this plays out with Tristan, Charlie Shears, John Brownson, and Mikhail Goetberg here in the last few minutes of this race.
Things are really starting to pick up. Scott Tucker looking for 3 wide almost through 5. Thought better of it, but things are really picking up here in the restart. Again, later on, deeper in the pack, 3 wide again, and it looks like we're going to go 2 wide or maybe, oh my God, through turn 6. That's not where you want to do it, but man, this action is really heating up.
Yeah, these L1 and L2 classes mixing it up, really providing for some great action as we're battling here at Laguna Seca for round 6 of the Cooper Tires prototype lights. And we see the number 7 L2 car followed by the number 42 of Jim Garrett through the corkscrew. I doubt any of this is for position because we've got some lap traffic intermingled within these classes, but this is definitely making for some exciting racing here.
There's nothing more frustrating than being stuck behind lap traffic when you're really trying to get after it for position. That's why everyone's being so aggressive. They're going 3 wide through turn 5 and turn 6.
Absolutely. We're watching turn 11 here. They're coming around turn 11, hitting the front straightaway, and we'll see the slower cars starting to filter their way back as number 42 Jim Garrett is going around the number 7 L2 car across the start-finish line. You see the radar gun picking them up there at 120 miles per hour. You can tell that's a couple miles per hour slower than Tristan Nunez comes over under the same area. And Lamont Harris spins out there right in the pack, and number 65 of Lamont Harris has come to a stop there, and he's got it refired, and he's going to hopefully get it spun back around here and going back around in the proper direction without causing too many problems.
It looked like he thought the L2 car in front of him saw him, and at the last second he had to check up and just lost control of the rear end there. Really frustrating, really disappointing there, but he's underway, and hopefully with another full course caution potentially we can get back up and get it back up for him.
Yeah, I hope that since he's gotten going and pretty much got going and hasn't caused any problems, the number 65 of Lamont Harris, who spun there in turn 2, won't bring out a full course caution, and we'll just be able to keep on going here and be able to keep this battle at Laguna Seca hot and heated as we're watching number 7 Max DeAngelis, the third place car in the L2 class, coming through the corkscrew here at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca.
And as we saw there, the L2 cars are slower straight line, but they seem to be able to brake deeper and carry just the amount of same speed through the corners. It makes overtaking really difficult difficult here.
Yeah, and the great thing about IMSA Lights Racing is you see here we're watching a battle between two separate classes, and it's really a fantastic battle because you got two different drivers in two different classes of cars fighting each other, and it's not even for position, but it's just fantastic racing. And you see the L1, oh, and Brownson off into the dirt. Looks like Mikhail Goekberg has gotten into third place, and Brownson has dropped back to fourth, and they are just really fighting it out here.
Yeah, I mean, that's just using all the road and more. Both drivers just trying to get as much grip as those cars will offer, and both dropping tires there at the exit of 3. Quite usual, but you could really see Mikhail just doing whatever he can to get up to the front.
Yeah, Mikhail is really trying to climb those podium steps. He's got third, he wants second, and Charlie Shears has it right now. He's going to go after him, and he's going to try to get that from him. As you can see, Charlie Shears just up in front of him. Mikhail's already starting to gap John Brownson in fourth place, going after Charlie Shears.
Yeah, he's got Charlie in his sights now, and he's got his hairpin locked on. He's going to be after him. He's going to use every corner like it was a qualifying race just to get up there right now.
I wonder if John Brownson's tires have started to go off a little bit, because we just saw him lay his right tires off into the dirt again, and right there sliding through turn 11. You know, his tires may be starting to go out from under him, and that might have been part of the problem that he had in trying to keep off Mikhail Goekberg.
We saw him locking rears on the restart going into corner 2. If he had been doing that quite a bit, those were really, the rear ends will really start suffering, and around Laguna Seca it can be quite rough on tires, especially in the brake zone, so that's definitely a good possibility here.
Well, we see number 16, Tristan Nunez, has already started to pull his lead back out on number 21, Charlie Shears. Tristan building a little bit more of a comfortable buffer again after we've gotten this restart back at Laguna Seca, and so we're going to really concentrate on what this battle between Charlie Shears there coming into the picture and Goekberg is going to be for second place.
As we pick up here with Tristan again, you can see he's opening the lead back up. It's almost the opposite of what we saw with Brownson. It appears that he took good care of his tires and is able to reopen the gap as well, which is really important, and obviously through the last few races he's been able to learn what to do to make that happen.
Yeah, he's trying to keep that lead as big as possible, but he's also managing that lead so that he doesn't really overrun his car and then fall back in the pack and fall back into the grips here of number 21, Charlie Shears, because Charlie Shears is going to have Mikhail Goekberg to deal with fairly soon.
Absolutely. Mikhail's coming. He's coming quickly, and he doesn't just want second place. He wants the lead, and he can see Tristan as well. If he's able to get up to Shears and pass him pretty quickly, I think he'll have a shot later in the race.
And we're looking at the L2 class leader, number 5, level 5 motorsports entry of Scott Tucker. Scott Tucker is running the new aerodynamics kit for the L2 cars, and you'll notice the 6-gear racing cars are running last year's aerodynamic kit. That's going to give Scott Tucker a little bit, ooh, he's locking up the tires there going into the hairpin. But Scott Tucker, a very, very experienced driver in many series here, and so he's got a lot of experience here at Laguna Seca to draw from.
I've got to tell you, what he's doing every weekend, jumping from completely different cars and then back into this car, makes it really difficult. You've got different braking zones, different throttle zones. Mentally, it's just really tough to get back into the zone of what you're driving. And he's doing a great job so far.
Now we're going to go to a break here as we watch the L2 class leader, number 5, Scott Tucker, and we'll be back to Laguna Seca in just a moment. We're back to racing here for round 6 of the Cooper Tires Prototype Lights, powered by Mazda, from Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca in Monterey, California. And we see the level 5, number 5 entry of Scott Tucker coming down the front start-finish line, and it looks like Mikhail Goekberg has caught Charlie Shears, and they're going to battle for second place.
He's all over the back of him now. He's got to get a really good run out of 4 here and potentially get him into 5. We'll see if he can get a good run through it.
Well, Goetberg has turned out to be a fantastic driver here in the lights, and Charlie Shears has quite a bit of experience in the lights, so this should be a really fantastic battle here in the closing laps.
I tell you what, if Shears gets creative with where he places the car, it can become really difficult to overtake around this place. Let's see how creative he'll get with his lines.
Well, he's going to have to get really creative because it looks like Goetberg is going to be all over him shortly, especially as they start to come through the corkscrew here.
Absolutely. Make sure you're using all the road on entry and exit out of the corkscrew. Both guys have an excellent line through there, and then dropping down through the corners, coming around to the end of the lap.
And I saw Mikhail Goetberg lay his left wheels off of the entry into the corkscrew. You know, he's going to be pushing this really hard. If Charlie Shears can keep his line and draw from his experience here at Laguna Seca, I believe he'll be able to hold him off.
It's going to be really important to be looking forward. It's really hard to do because you want to be looking at the mirrors and see where Mikhail is, what he's going to be doing, but you got to make sure you're driving your own race car still. Now we pick up here with Tristan again, just a beautiful line through two and exit and keeping everything nice and calm.
Yeah, Tristan looks like he's on cruise control here, but we can see the second and third place cars in the back of the screen there. If he puts it on cruise control too much, with them fighting it out, they may catch back up to him.
I tell you one thing, Charlie's going to make sure he's keeping Tristan honest here. He's being pushed as well from behind, so they're going flat out. Tristan can't let up at all. If he does, he'll fall right back into the clutches of the second and third place cars.
And again, you know, like we talked about with John Brownson, they've all got to consider their tire management here as the race goes on, because we started off in foggy conditions, very cool, and it's heating up today here at Laguna Seca.
Absolutely. The ambient conditions really played a big deal into how your tires work around here. And as we see there at the first apex of the corkscrew, a lot of dirt, a lot of sand is kicked up around this track. That'll really affect your car.
Yeah, and Tristan, he's going to be managing it, and I imagine he's going to be catching some lap traffic soon because they've been going back here at the green flag for quite some time, and we see Shears and Goetberg really starting to go at it, battle for second place, and ooh, Goetberg takes a look to the inside and can't make it work.
That was a really aggressive move there, probably more of just trying to force Shears into a mistake, filling his mirrors as much as possible. When you're that car following, you just want to be doing everything you can to be the most annoying thing possible for the car in front, just to force him into a mistake.
Yeah, and with as experienced as Charlie Shears is, it's going to be hard to force him into a mistake. So Goetberg's going to have to get around him the honest way.
And we've seen he definitely has some interesting overtaking skills, so I think he might be able to get it done here.
As we continue to watch the second place battle here between number 21 Charlie Shears and number 10 Mikhail Goetberg, you can see there more dirt getting kicked up by Mikhail as he's really getting aggressive, trying to explore all the lines he can to try to get around the number 21 car of Charlie Shears.
And around this second part of the track, you get really close to the car in front of you, but there's no real overtaking spot here. As we've seen in the past, people can get it down to the corkscrew, but it's really aggressive, and normally it ends up with two cars being out of the race.
Yeah, we saw the entry of Alan Wilzig there, the orange and black L2 car, and now we're back to watching Charlie Shears and Mikhail Goetberg. Charlie Shears is going to continue to stay on his line. He's going to be the Iceman. He's going to try not to make a mistake, and if he can keep clean and not make a mistake, he should be good to go here.
Absolutely. When you come through turn 11 here, Shears is really getting a good drive out of there. It seems his traction's really good, so it makes overtaking for Goetberg through turn 2 a really difficult task.
Yeah, Charlie Shears, drawing from his experience, he's going to be able to keep his line solid. He's going to make as few mistakes as possible, and he's also going to put less wear on those tires. And we see the number 16 car, the leader, Tristan Nunez, dealing with some lap traffic, that L2 six-gear racing car, and he's going to try to use that car as a little bit of a buffer between himself and number 2 second place car of Charlie Shears.
Absolutely. He was able to get by him in turn 3, which was really important, or else he would have been slowed up all the way through 3 and 4. As we see now, it looks like Shears might be held up going into corner 6, but oh no, he's going to dive to the inside, and hopefully, yes, both cars are going to get through. Really aware driving there. That was a pretty dangerous move.
I think we're going to see Charlie Shears' experience give him a little bit of extra edge. He made that pass on that L2 car to where he was going to make it as difficult on Goetberg as possible so that that he could pick up maybe a few hundredths or even tenths of a second by using that L2 car as a pick going around that corner.
And the mindsets for Tristan now versus Charlie are two different things. Tristan's also thinking about the championship here. He's going to be as careful as he can and protect that lead. Charlie's flat out. He's got to be as aggressive as he can through everything to try to minimize the lead that Tristan's built up.
And Goetberg, if he's going to have any hopes of challenging Tristan Nunez for the championship, he's got to get second place. He's going to push this as hard as he can so he can get those second place points. The third place points will count very well towards his championship aspirations, but he really needs to get as much as he can when dealing with Tristan Nunez in the championship.
We saw Goetberg run wide a little bit there, and even if you're just 2 feet off the apex and two, you just lose all your front grip and pick up a big understeer. And, you know, going back to the championship battle, a lot of the drivers are going to give you the normal speech where they don't think about points yet, but it's definitely playing on their minds. Tristan's got his eyes set on that. It's definitely in the back of his head here.
Yeah, and you can see there Tristan going around the corner at the top of the hill. Looks like Charlie Shears and Goetberg through their battle are starting to pick up on Tristan and Nunez a little bit. Maybe he's starting to cruise just a bit too much.
Yeah, that could be very true, or it also could be that Shears is now not going quite as defensive, running his usual lines, and maybe he's found some speed and now starting to close back on. As soon as he has to go defensive to protect his position, it's going to slow those cars both up.
Well, we see Charlie Shears and Goetberg coming around turn 10 as Tristan is entering. Oh, and Goetberg goes to the inside. Can't make the move stick again. You know, that seems to be a move he likes to try there at turn 11 and just can't seem to get that extra edge on Charlie Shears to make it stick. And there's the white flag, so we are on the last lap. If he's going to do it, he's got to do it now.
Unfortunately, that move was just a little bit too ambitious, and he's lost a lot of time to Shears. He's got to do a lot of hustling on the car now to catch back up.
Yeah, and we see this battle continuing, and it looks like Charlie Shears is starting to pull out a little bit. Tristan Nunez keeping his lead comfortable. He's going to keep an eye on his mirrors. He's going to watch for Charlie Shears, but he's going to make sure that he doesn't make any mistakes here on this last lap and ruin his victory.
I tell you what, Tristan's now talking to himself in every corner. Okay, third gear corner, braking at the 3-board, turn in, apex. He's just talking to himself through this last lap, making sure he doesn't get any mistakes. Now, Shears, on the other hand, has to be really aggressive and drive this lap as if it was the first lap of the race just to keep that gap.
Yeah, because Shears, he's keeping Goetberg off of his tail. He's got to
that looked
cut away right there. Goetberg looks like he overran the entrance to the corkscrew, and that's going to give Shears just that little bit of extra comfort he needs here in the close of the final lap of round 6.
Yeah, that camera angle cut away at the wrong point, but that was a very ambitious move, and there we see Tristan coming off the last corner, and he's going to pick up another race win and get closing on this championship.
And it's checkered flag for Tristan Nunez of Performance Tech. Let's take a look at the final results here from Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca. First place goes to car number 16, Tristan Nunez of Performance Tech. Second, car number 21, Charlie Shears. Third, number 10, Mikhail Goetberg of JDC Motorsports. In the L2 class, we see victory going to the Level 5 Motorsports entry, car number 5 of Scott Tucker, followed by the 2 6-gear racing entries of Michael Klumecki and Max DeAngelis. Congratulations to all competitors. Let's go down into the pits to speak with our winner, Tristan Nunez. Well, it's not a rerun, but we're here with Tristan Nunez, car number 16, 16-year-old, and winner of the round here at Laguna Seca with the Cooper Tires prototype lights powered by Mazda. Another fantastic and very convincing win, Tristan. Tell us about the race.
Well, I mean, it wasn't as bad as yesterday with all those yellows. We had one yellow. It ended up being pretty long because there was another car that broke down before we were going to go green. So that was the only little bit that was wrong with the race. But I mean, it was good to have a little bit of a breather in a 40-minute race. So I mean, the whole race we were just conserving the car. So making sure nothing broke, make sure the tires didn't heat up. So I think it worked out in our favor, and we're going to play with that strategy throughout the whole season, I think.
Well, it was very foggy this morning, very windy and cold. Do you think the conditions this morning before the race played any factors in the race conditions during the race?
Well, the race conditions changed throughout the race, definitely, because it started off foggy and then the sun came out. But also there was a lot of sand on the track from, I don't know if it was from other drivers or the wind that pushed it on. So that made it a little bit of an obstacle throughout the race. But other than that, yeah, no, the track was fine.
Another beautiful day at Laguna Seca, and another wonderful win for number 16, Tristan Nunez, winner of the Laguna Seca round. Cooper Tires, Prototype Lights, powered by Mazda. Congratulations.